just not they don't really care about the wide receiver position as much over there at the Baltimore office. They are just viewing receivers as an expendable position. When they have Lamar Jackson, and if and they have an established run game, they're good with that. And then having Mark Andrews at tight end, again, who is an all-star.
Yeah, he's good.
They're just satisfied with that, and they feel like that's all that they need to bring them to the promised land. So I mean, I don't know. Their way of thinking could be skewed because who knows if that's all you need to win a Super Bowl. I mean, maybe you need a little bit more talent, like you said. I mean, you can always use all the talent that you can get. More talent doesn't hurt you; it helps you, right? So, I don't know, man. I don't know how it's gonna pan out for the Ravens, man.
Review. I ain't making no commitments unless I'm seeing it through, and that shit ain't always easy to do. Nah, it ain't easy to. Another year alive, pushing my dreams, finding balance while I'm looking at screens.
Yeah, what's up? It's your boy Denver right here. The Josh and Denver podcast, the Denver and Josh podcast. We keep it the same right here.
You already know, and it's your boy Josh. We here and give you the latest news. As you know, a lot of stuff happens since the last podcast. So we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to converse about. So let's get into it, my boy. Wagwan with you. You good? You blessed?
Yeah, we good, man. It's finally nice weather out here, so I can finally enjoy the weather.
Yeah, for real. I mean, it's May now. We months are flying in 2022 nowadays. The weather is getting nice. Love to see it. Can't wait for summer. I keep saying to everybody I'm gonna be outside this year, but I don't know if I'm gonna be outside like that. I'm a homebody for true, so well, who knows, man? I mean, the weather might attract me and might bring me out of my yard still. So, we'll see.
Yeah, fam. But let's get into this. A lot of stuff went on. The topic of the day. We're gonna obviously talk about the trades that went on during the draft, even get into some of the prospects of some free agents that are still left out there in the NFL. And then we get into a little bit NBA and talk about our Raptors, man. So it's a full slate for you guys, this week.
Yes, sir. Lots to talk about.
All right, so let's start off with the trades that happened during the draft. So if you guys didn't know, the 2022 NFL draft just concluded this past weekend. It was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And so a lot of big things happened during that that 3-day period. So we can jump into the first thing is to our surprise, we talked about in the last podcast how there's 3 main receivers that were asking for a pay raise or a trade, and those were AJ Brown, Deebo Samuels, and Terry McLaurin. And so we're thinking that one of them might get moved during the draft or sometime in the offseason, and it happened. AJ Brown, the Tennessee Titans, got traded to the Philadelphia Eagles, man. And to me, I was kind of shocked. I was like, good for you, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, but the Titans, man. And who the hell is Tannehill going to throw to? Like, I'm just surprised by a lot of these moves that happen, but let's talk about that one first. What do you think about AJ Brown to the Eagles, man?
Man, I love it for the Eagles, man. I love it. Totally love it. It's as we discussed before in previous podcasts, man. I like to say, we have pretty good takes. When it comes to the whole Christian Kirk getting paid all that money, changing the market of the wide receiver game, teams are literally like they weren't ready to pay wide receivers. So as you can see, a product of that was, or you can see that Tennessee themselves, they really weren't willing to pay a wide receiver at this time. I guess they just didn't have it in their pockets. So what they do, they're like, all right, let's ship around. Let's see, where AJ Brown can go. Let's get some compensation for it. And let's get someone in the draft, which they did, and they got Treylon Burks from Arkansas, where they can pay him happily on the rookie deal, pay him cents out of their pocket, and maybe get some production, because he I think he is a AJ type Brown receiver himself. Someone who's very physical, Treylon Burks, able to run after the catch, was known for running a lot of bubble screens, a lot of short patterns, breaking tackles at Arkansas. So definitely they got a little replacement there. So I think they did what was right for them. And then with AJ Brown going to Philly, I mean, this puts pressure on Jalen Hurts for sure, man, because now you got a big dog at receiver, got a big dog. And don't forget, you have Devontae Smith, which you already had chemistry with this past year in his rookie year. You still got Jalen Reagor. You got Dallas Goddard. Again, you got Miles Sanders in the backfield. The time is now, bro. The time is now. So Jalen Hurts, you got to do something with it. And hopefully AJ Brown can get that same production be able to provide that same production that he had in Tennessee. I mean, again, the quarterback's changed, right? So, can Jalen Hurts get him the ball? That's the question on everyone's mind right now. But I do believe that Jalen Hurts can do this. All right. In Jalen Hurts, we trust. I got a faith in my boy. He's proved everyone wrong before. People say he couldn't throw the ball at Alabama, and he showed it in Oklahoma. So showed him in the league now, bro. Let's go. Let's get it.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, they got weapons on offense. So I mean, we got to see that kind of that jump, kind of that next level from Jalen Hurts. And see his improvement. So hopefully he's working on a lot of that stuff in the offseason, on some of the stuff that he can improve on and, get better at his game. But like you said, he has a lot of weapons. So for me, the X factor for the Eagles is like the jump that Jalen Hurts can make coming off, they made the playoffs. Who thought that they were going to make it last year? They made the playoffs. So that's a big surprise. Now they got to kind of, use that momentum and kind of get better and see, how far they can get in the playoffs. So that's the next step for me. Like they made the playoffs last year. This coming year, they got to make that next step, which is, win a game or two in the playoffs, with the weapons they have. So to me, it's going to be about their defense and how well that they can improve, as well as Jalen Hurts. So yeah, like I said, I love for the Eagles as well. Every quarterback loves weapons, what they're asking for. How about the Titans? I'm kind of confused because Derrick Henry was hurt a lot last year. And so I guess they're hoping this year is going to be 100% healthy. But Tannehill, he needs some weapons too, fam. So that's what I don't understand. I know they're a play action team. They run the ball heavy, play action. And then that opens up, a lot of lanes for the receivers. But still, in this league, you got to have some weapons too. So I'm kind of confused by some of these teams. But I guess the way the game is moving, the NFL is more wide open. A lot less physical. They want a lot of points. They want a lot of offense. So it makes it a little easier for these rookie receivers, like you mentioned. The receiver they drafted out of Arkansas to come and integrate themselves, faster and actually produce faster than receivers have in the past. But still a question mark. He's still a rookie. You know what I mean? There's still a learning curve. So yeah. So I agree with you, man. Great move for the Eagles. Excited for Jalen Hurts. But hopefully they can make that next step in the playoffs this coming year.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Tennessee is not looking to, cash it all in right now. I feel like they have a succession plan after Ryan Tannehill, with the drafting of Malik Willis. We'll get into that. But yeah, they got a young quarterback and they got a young wide receiver, that can grow together and can be, the new face of the Tennessee Titans offense. Of course, they can't run it on Derrick Henry's backs forever. So they're going to just run, they're going to run him dry for now. They're going to, try to, take whatever is left in the tank for Derrick Henry, rely on that, and then probably just let, the young kids grow into, what they believe them to be in the future. I mean, Malik Willis does have a high ceiling. Treylon Burks, again, a very physical wide receiver. Someone who, again, is very AJ Brown-like. And I mean, those types of receivers, man, I mean, you love to get your hands on one of them, I feel like he can definitely produce from day one, but I mean, imagine the production when he gets to year 3, year 4, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you know, just that time that he'll take to develop, it will definitely help maybe for for the Tennessee Titans future. So we'll see about that. But yeah, bro, you're back to Philly. I mean, yo, Philly's making noise, bro. I feel like they the top dogs in the NFC East. I don't see the Dallas Cowboys competing with them. Washington Commanders, I don't even rate you guys like that. I'm sorry, I'm not rating you guys like that. I mean, who else is in that division? New York Giants.
Yeah,
Definitely ain't doing nothing. So, you know, Eagles are the new top dog. And I love to see it, bro. Love to see it.
Yeah, like you said, like that division, like that's always been a weird division. They've always said it's been one of the weakest divisions in the last few years, which it kind of is true because, like you said, Daniel Jones, like we're still waiting for that jump, but this could be the last year. Like this might be the last year. If he doesn't perform this year, I think he might be like going to that backup type role. But
Yeah.
like the Giants are still up in the air. It looks like they've been tanking for the last 2-3 years. Washington, you know, they had a decent defense. They had a good defense. They have some players, you know. But like again, like it's that QB position, like Carson Wentz, inconsistent. Is he going to be that old Carson Wentz? Like he was kind of with Philly, you know, with the Colts. He was, you know, he played decent, played good, but struggled down the stretch. So we don't know with them and then with the Cowboys. They're always going to make the playoffs, but I mean, are they going to go far and competitive? Seems like they're always choking. And so, sorry, Cowboys fans, but you know, they know what it is. You know, the last few years. Yeah. So the Eagles are definitely either 1 or 2 in that division, 100%. So yeah, and talk about Malik Willis, like that's interesting too. Like I don't even know why he slipped in the draft. I'm like, he went to the second round.
Yeah, I think he went into the third after Desmond Ridder.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so there was only one QB that was drafted in the first round, and that was Kenny Pickett, and then Desmond Ridder came off the board, and then Malik Willis. Where, you know, on a lot of people's boards, you know, pre-draft, you know, Malik Willis was number 1, you know, for a lot of people. So it's definitely, there's some question marks there. There's probably some things that we don't know that you know, people in the NFL general, you know, in their offices that they kind of knew. They had some intel about, maybe some question marks, maybe some red flags. We'll see. I mean, I'm just happy that he got off the board. I feel like Tennessee is an ideal situation for him. He can definitely learn behind Ryan Tannehill and develop. And again, a very high ceiling for this guy. This man's a real athletic quarterback, yo. Yeah, bare upside for this youth.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be following like his progression in the preseason 100%. Like you said, like he has a lot of upside. He's a mobile quarterback. He has a big arm, and you know he can get out the pocket and make plays as well. You know, I just was kind of confused because everyone's saying the small school thing, like played at a low level Division I school in, I think it was Liberty University, but that argument goes up the door because, like you said, Carson Wentz went top 3, Trey Lance went top 3. So just because you're from a small school doesn't mean, you know, the level of competition, you know, you played determines where you're gonna get drafted, like, you know. And so maybe that has a little bit of that small school thing, but you know, he still has huge upside, still has a big ceiling, and I'm gonna be really watching high plays in preseason. I think it was kind of like a 3rd round steal, and could potentially replace Tannehill down the line, right?
Exactly. But yeah, what is a little bit of the draft? I mean, we can go down the line, you know, for the draft. You know, the number 1 pick that I believe Jacksonville had the number 1 pick, and they picked Trayvon Walker.
Linebacker.
Correct me if I got his name wrong, but yeah, he was an edge rusher. What do you feel about that number 1 pick? I mean, I thought it was going to be Aiden Hutchinson who was going to be the number 1 pick overall, and then this guy kind of comes out of nowhere. I don't know. I don't know if I was following it correctly, but I did not see that coming. Did you?
Nah, I thought everyone had Aiden Hutchinson, but like right before the draft, there's always like kind of smoke screens going on who's being drafted, so you never really know. But I thought I was definitely going to be Aiden Hutchinson, but I think it was a good pick for them. They're looking for, you know, obviously increase your pass rush. Jacksonville has been a team that at one point they were, they were a contender when they had like, Blake Bortles that won like a year or two where he was playing.
Oh yeah, that 1 year.
And then their defense was pretty sick.
Yeah, they had Jalen Ramsey back in them times too, I believe.
Yeah, so they were deep, but they haven't been good since then. I don't believe, right? And so
Yeah.
I mean, I have Trevor Lawrence, but man, he struggled last year. And so I guess they're looking to really improve their defense. And I guess everyone knows like you need good edge rushers in the NFL. So I mean, typically in the draft, if there's a good edge rusher, they're gonna get him. So he's an athletic kid, big kid. I'm guessing they feel like he has more potential than Aiden Hutchinson. This is why they picked him up. So you can go for the surefire thing, Aiden Hutchinson. People are comparing him to the Bosa brothers, but then you have that big potential, like Trayvon Walker can really like improve and get better. He can have huge potential down the line. So a little surprised, but I think it was going defense was the right pick for them.
Yeah, I agree. Defense is definitely the right pick for them. I mean, they have so much to improve on, but I mean, for sure, getting a nice edge rusher, to rush the quarterback, that's what you need in your division, in the AFC overall. But I mean, Trayvon Walker, I believe what I remember from reports is that he didn't have as much tape. He had a limited snap count playing for Georgia because again, they just had dogs on that Georgia defense. So he had limited snaps, didn't have as much tape as Aiden Hutchinson, who definitely proved with the amount of tape that he put out there that he was that guy. So I don't know. Ideally, I would think that Aiden Hutchinson would have been that first overall pick, but again, maybe there is a higher ceiling for this for Trayvon Walker. But Aiden Hutchinson again got picked up with a number 2 pick. Yeah, got picked up by Detroit. Shout out to Detroit. I feel like Detroit is making a little noise out here, bro. They're doing a little something, bro. A little bit, dog. If you take it in, okay, Aiden Hutchinson on the edge, right? So you add into the defense. Then they get in the same first round, Jameson Williams. Yes. I mean, Jameson Williams definitely, I feel like he's head and shoulders over every wide receiver in that draft. I mean, the speed of that guy, he's just a certified deep threat. You add that to Amon-Ra St. Brown already. That's a young cat at Detroit. Like, they're going to be a duo for years to come. If Jared Goff can get the ball to them, bro, play, similarly, to those days that he had in LA where he was actually able to get to the big game. He just wasn't able to win it. But if he's able to play to that skill level, they might do something, bro. They might do something. I don't know, man. I don't know. Detroit might break the curse, bro.
I'm not willing to bet on Detroit coming up, this coming year. I still think they're gonna be a better team. I don't know about. They might, be like a 7-9 or 8-8 team, middle of the pack. But like they definitely have going to be a better team. Like you mentioned, Jason Wilson's coming off a torn ACL, right? So,
yeah, but I mean, ACLs, man, the players bounce back from that like it's nothing nowadays. So, Jameson Williams going to get back on that field. He's going to be that certified deep threat again. That's how I feel. I mean, this is the first ACL that he's tearing, right? It's not like it's a second. So he may not lose a step,
Yeah, I agree.
That boy was blazing at Alabama, bro.
He's super fast. I like pick number 3. My 2 best corners I liked were obviously Stingley and Gardner, and they went 3 and 4. Stingley, man, I really like the way he plays, man. He got like a different swag when he plays. Same with Sauce Gardner too, but everyone's watching Stingley every year because he's been starting since he was a freshman. Day 1, LSU started. So that was a great pick by the Texans. And the Texans, man, they're going to stick with David Mills. I think they might have got another quarterback in the draft, but I mean, I think going forward, they're going to stick with David Mills. And to me, that says they're tanking. That's just my opinion. David Mills, he's a decent quarterback. He played, his numbers look decent last year, but are they trying to win games and like make the playoffs? I don't think so. Like, in my opinion, they need that QB1, right?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think that they're going anywhere fast, but I mean, it's always good to add a good certified corner on your team. Again, corner, we discussed about this last podcast. I mean, corner is really an important position, like probably up there with the QB position, if not number one, number two, right, as the most important position on the football field. I mean, with the cats that are on the field that, you know, be running routes, like you got to put guys that are able to cover them, or else you're gonna have a field day. You know what I'm saying? Like your offenses are gonna have field days if you don't have someone that you could line up across them and defend. So Derek Stingley was definitely one of those dudes, one of those cats. I mean, you know, the big thing about him was that, again, this man was, you know, from a freshman, he was going up against mans like Justin Jefferson, mans like Jamar Chase in practice every day at LSU. And he was a straight up dog. You know what I'm saying? So, and he brought that in his first year as well, shutting down mans. It's just that year 2 and 3 were just a little bit questionable. I don't know if it's because teams weren't willing to throw against him, or like I heard that there was inconsistency issues with him. That's what I heard about Derek Stingley.
Yeah, but the talent,
I mean, yeah, he definitely has the intangibles. He definitely has elite talent, but it's just inconsistency. So I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if Sauce Gardner went before him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, definitely it makes sense for them to go back to back, but honestly, you know, Sauce Gardner's that dude too. So can't hate on him, and shout out to your Jets for getting him.
Yeah, man. Like people saying the Jets had one of the best drafts, you know. Also got Sauce Gardner. We got Garrett Wilson, the receiver out of Ohio State. Got, I believe, Jermaine Johnson out of Florida State. So, I mean, we had one of the best first rounds that people were saying in a long time, as well as the entire draft.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, man, I'm really excited for the Jets, man. Like, we seen Zach Wilson step up, get better, improve. We got him a couple more weapons. Hopefully, we can even add even more weapons in free agency. And, yeah, just reload and, you know, try to tough division, Bills, Patriots. But, you know, we just need a chance, man.
Yeah, I feel you. It's definitely gonna be tough, but I like to see. I like what you guys are building over there. And you know me, I like to, you know, rip on the Jets a little bit, you know, because they've just been so terrible for so long. But you know, the new GM that you guys have, I don't know if he's new. He's making some nice decisions. Again, getting Sauce Gardner. I mean, you know, like I mentioned before, you need a corner. You know, in this day and age, you need a certified dog that's able to line up across these top receivers in this league and hold their own. Also got Garrett Wilson, you know, a top wide receiver, you know, at Ohio State. Him and Chris Olave were putting up numbers. I mean, you know, it was pick your poison over there at Ohio State. Garrett Wilson is definitely a dog. You're adding him to Elijah Moore, Braxton Berrios, you know, the other cats that they have. Then the edge rusher that you guys picked up later in the first round. Great pick, again, just adding to you guys' defense. I mean, you guys are building something, you know, good young cats, you know, that are coming together, you know, they're able to maybe grow together, develop, and maybe make some noise for years to come. You guys also added in the second round, Breece Hall.
Oh, yeah.
That guy is a monster at running back. That guy is a straight up monster. Arguably the best running back that was in the draft. And he was the first running back taken in the draft as well. So, I mean, you guys are doing something. You guys are doing something secretly on the lows.
Yeah, we're trying to add weapons to Zach Wilson as well as shore up our defense. You know, that's what Robert Saleh, the head coach, is defensive coach. So our defense has to get a lot better. But yeah, I'm excited. I mean, every year, if you're an NFL fan, you're going with optimism. Teams are making additions, new signings, new draft picks. So it's always going to be optimism. So hopefully this year, like, actually get some more W's. You know, hopefully, man. That's the plan. Like, my plan for the Jets this year is just that we win more games than last year. Let's start with that.
Yeah, that shouldn't be hard though. You guys haven't even won any games, bro. Shouldn't be hard, bro.
We'll see.
But yeah, so yeah, that was pick 3, 4, and 5, right? Chris Olave went to the New Orleans Saints. Could talk a little about the New Orleans Saints, you know, with their draft, and also a huge pickup on the defensive side as well. You know, Chris Olave, like I said, definitely a big dog at Ohio State. You know, deep threat, smooth, crisp route runner. Yeah, just adding, giving Jameis Winston a little bit more targets, man. I'm expecting a big year out of Jameis Winston, which is not something I thought I'd ever say because, back in his Tampa Bay days, I mean, he wasn't that good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he definitely had talent, but his decision making wasn't all the way there. Now, within the system in New Orleans, I mean, they're really putting him on a leash a little bit more. Try to help his decision making, help him to not just be so reckless with the football. Again, the most important thing that you can do as a quarterback is protect the football. And I'm anticipating that he's going to be able to do so. Especially from last year, he kind of displayed those tendencies before he got hurt, and I expect a continuation of that. So with the targets that he has, again, Michael Thomas is coming back, Chris Olave. They have that dude from Tennessee. I forget his name. His name is escaping me. But their offense seems set. They always have Alvin Kamara as well in the backfield. They're going to be contenders. And then their defense is going to be deadly. Again, they had 2 key losses with Marcus Williams at safety and Malcolm Jenkins as he had retired. So what did they do? They pick up my boy Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger.
That was a great pick. I don't know why he was there that long. I don't know why he was still free agent that long.
Bro, I think he was just waiting out the draft. He wasn't trying to make a too early of a decision. That's what I was thinking. Like, he's like, where can I go after seeing how this draft plays out? Who can give me the most money, most bang for my buck? The man, he's coming home, bro. He's a Louisiana kid, so he's going to New Orleans, played at LSU. This is a homecoming for true. And the man, I can when you put the Honey Badger on your team, man, he just makes your team better. He makes the defense better. He makes the whole team better. So that's what I anticipate. They also brought in Marcus May, who was a former Jet as well. Yeah. So I mean, that's a loss by you guys, unfortunately, on the Jets, but I mean, a good addition by New Orleans. So bringing in those 2 big dog safeties, it's gonna be crazy. I mean, that defense is gonna stay up to par. It's gonna give Tom Brady that work as they usually do. Yeah, we'll see how they pan out.
Yeah, Saints are always a team that also mentioned they moved Taysom Hill officially from a QB to a tight end. That kind of tight end. He's not even like a quarterback anymore. Yeah, he's like gonna be. He's gonna be a tight end / receiver, like kind of like that slash role that he's playing. So yeah, and like you said, the defense is still, they still got Marshawn Lattimore, and they added Tyrann Mathieu and a few pieces like Marcus May, and it improved some other additions as well. Like they're gonna be a improvement as well. So just looking at James Wilson to play like he was last year at the start of the season. Like James Wilson, he came out kind of hot. So
yeah.
So if he plays that same way, they definitely got a chance to make some noise. So the Saints are actually a decent team to watch coming up as well. But yeah, big move by Tyrann Mathieu. And we were all waiting to see where he's gonna go. And Saints look like it's a nice pick. I know he got kind of pushed out of the Chiefs because they signed Justin Reed from the Texans. Yeah. But I feel like him going to the Saints, homecoming back at LSU, Honey Badger, where he balled out. That's where he got the name, where he got famous. So definitely excited to see that play out in the Saints.
Yeah, I'm just loving all the storylines that are coming into the season. I'm just excited overall, bro. Football is getting me excited this year. You know what I'm saying?
All these moves, all these options, all these trades, dog. We didn't even get to Hollywood Brown.
Yeah,
the Ravens to the Cardinals, dog. Like what the another situation where I'm thinking like, bro. Lamar Jackson, I know he has Rashad Bateman. I know he has tight ends, but like at the same time, I feel like he still needs more wide receiver weapons. Like, yeah, he's dual threat. He does a lot in play action and the designed run plays and stuff. But I feel like for the Ravens is to add more talent as possible and keep as much talent as possible. Like Hollywood Brown was his best stuff. I think that was his boy, right?
Yeah, they were like good friends. I mean, again, both from Florida. They played Little League together. So yeah, they were quite close. They had a good little pre-game routine, where they would just roll up to the stadiums, both of them just walking in. That's how they like, they were really close. They were like that. So I mean, that relationship was definitely, it was strong, but unfortunately, it seems that he has a stronger relationship with Kyler. That's what
They
it.
both played at OU together.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's a good move for the Cardinals. The Cardinals, like I said, added more weapons. And so that's great. That's great for them. And Kyler Murray, keeping him happy. I believe they said it was a surprise. They wanted to surprise him, so he was very happy with that addition. So providing with Kyler with more weapons as possible, it's going to keep him around and make him happy. And so, but like I said, the Ravens, like, what do you think about them kind of saying that they're good with the receivers they have? You know what I mean? Kind of surprising there.
I think they don't really care about the wide receiver position as much over there at the Baltimore office. They are just viewing receivers as an expendable position. When they have Lamar Jackson, and and they have an established run game, they're good with that. And then having Mark Andrews at tight end, again, who is an all-star.
Yeah, he's good.
They're just satisfied with that, and they feel like that's all that they need to bring them to the promised land. So I mean, I don't know. Their way of thinking could be skewed because who knows if that's all you need to win a Super Bowl. I mean, maybe you need a little bit more talent, like you said. I mean, you can always use all the talent that you can get. More talent doesn't hurt you, it helps you, right? So I don't know, man. I don't know how it's going to pan out for the Ravens, man. I don't know how it's going to pan out. But definitely we know the Cardinals got a little bit better. And I mean, some people were questioning the choice when it came to Hollywood. And man, he's a deep threat, all right? And the way that he was being used with the Ravens, and he seemed to be their number one guy, he wasn't, like, he did have a great year this past year with 91 catches, just over 1,000 yards. But you can have a bigger year with the Cardinals with coverage rolling to D-Hop and him just running free all day, because that's what D-Hop will do to you, bro. I mean, he's going to be a certified number 2. And you still got AJ Green. You still got Rondell Moore. They got Zach Ertz. They drafted another tight end too as well. So I see the Arizona Cardinals are doing what they can do to make Kyler happy and make it possible for them to win more games and get farther into the playoffs than they did this past year. Give them more of a chance. So I can see that, and I'm excited about that as well.
Yeah, and like you said, I think the system is better at Arizona. Like, the system in Baltimore was a run-heavy offense. It's the same OC that was in San Francisco, Greg Roman, that had Cap, and they had that kind of that run-heavy, run the ball, play action. He's using that same system in Baltimore, and like you said, Hollywood Brown, he wanted more opportunities. He wanted to make more plays, more catches. You know what I mean? So he'll get that in the wide open system in Arizona where they pass the ball a lot. And so he'll definitely get his opportunities as well there. And so I feel like it was a great pickup, by the Cardinals. Like Kyler Murray, like, he has to think there's another level he can get to so they can go further in the playoffs. But hopefully he steps up, they make him happy to get him paid. And he gets a chance to, take the Cardinals further this year in the playoffs.
Yeah, I can definitely see it, man. I feel like they're not going to just, be one and done like they were last year. And I forgot to mention, though, like, because I was talking so heavy about, D-Hop drawing coverage. The man's going to be suspended for 6 games, unfortunately. Kind of sucks, but I mean, it's also more of a benefit that you brought in Hollywood, because you know what it's like without D-Hop. Kyler struggles because AJ Green can't pick up the slack. That's straight facts.
Yeah, he's not the same player.
He's not the same guy. He's declining. He's your veteran locker room guy now, straight up.
Yeah.
And I ain't even try to be rough. Like, you know, I'm not trying to be rough on them, man. It's just, you know, there's a timeline when it comes to the game of football, you know? And AJ Green is approaching that end of his timeline. So bringing a Hollywood Brown is definitely beneficial, you know? And again, the rapport that Kyler and Hollywood developed in Oklahoma, that according to his, you know, Hollywood's story, you know, when Hollywood was coming from JUCO and making his decision as to which school to go to, you know, on his visit to Oklahoma, you know, Kyler was the one who took him around on his visit, you know, showed him around the campus and everything. They were both backups at the time. They worked closely together to develop into, you know, what they were in the final year of their collegiate career. And they were fireworks, bro. You know, I remember watching that college season, watching Kyler win the Heisman. That man was like, Hollywood and him, just their connection is just unstoppable. They're two small dudes, but two fast as hell dudes, bro. Ain't nobody can catch either one of them. You know, Kyler skipping out the pocket, you know, maybe like he can choose either to run it for a TD or toss it 80 yards for a TD. I'm kind of exaggerating, but you know what I mean. The man, him and Hollywood had that rapport. The man also has CeeDee Lamb back in those days too, but Hollywood was that guy back in the time. So you bring that back, you bring that to the pros. I mean, I love to see these college quarterbacks reuniting with their college wide receivers, because there is that connection that just resumes, you know what I'm saying? And it becomes even bigger and better. You see it with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. You know, you see it with who else?
There's Davante Adams and
you will see it with Davante Adams and Derek Carr. But I'm talking about people that we've already seen.
Jalen Hurts, Devontae.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith. Yeah. Did Mac get one of his guys? No, Mac didn't get one. Well, Tua and Jalen Waddle. Yeah, that's another one. And they resumed. So yeah, man, it seems to work, and NFL is realizing that now, and it's, you know, they're making it happen more. Yeah, it's great to see.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, there's a kind of that shift where there's a lot of the GMs are trying to get, you know, great connections in terms of QB receiving, looking at who they played with in college. And so, you know, that's pretty cool to see. And like you said, like maybe the Cardinals knew beforehand that before we knew that, you know, D-Hop was going to be out for the first 6 games. So maybe that's why they were incentivized to make that trade of Hollywood Browns. You know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that we don't know about. And all these moves are because of, you know, what they already know. And so, great move by the Cardinals. The Ravens, we'll see how that goes with Lamar Jackson. Hope maybe he can do it. Maybe he can do it, you know, shoulder a lot of the, you know, the offense on his own with the running, the passing. Maybe he doesn't need a star wide receiver, but I think he needs some weapons. In my opinion, he needs more weapons, in my opinion. So, I mean, I think it's gonna be really hard for him, especially if one of those guys goes down, like if Sears goes down. Who's he throwing to? He's gonna do like direct runs the entire game.
Yeah, it's gonna make them one-dimensional for sure, and that's not gonna work.
Yeah,
not gonna work.
Jeez.
Man, we can only hope for the best. I mean, Lamar has been promising a Super Bowl to the Baltimore Ravens for quite some time now, you know, since he got drafted. So I mean, I can only hope for his sake that, you know, his goals come true when it comes to that. But Baltimore got to really put in, you know, a plan of action to help that. You know, they really got to put some pieces around to really, you know, make that attainable. And I don't know if they're doing that, like you said.
Yeah, man. But those are two big moves in the draft. You know, we talked about briefly some other moves, like, you know, Kenny Pickett being the first QB off the board.
Yes,
going
sir.
to hometown, Pittsburgh, same. I mean, they saw him every day. They apparently the University of Pittsburgh and the Pittsburgh Steelers is the same facility, and so they see those players all the time. So they kind of knew him. They have the inside scoop on him as well. So that's going to be a camp battle between him and Trubisky in training camp. So that's very interesting as well.
I agree. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was just gonna say I feel like he can definitely win that battle. Kenny Pickett can definitely win that. I feel and a lot of draft analysis has been saying they've been deeming not Mitchell, Kenny Pickett as the most pro-ready quarterback out of any of those other QB prospects. So just based on that, get him into camp, get him developing some, connections with the receivers there. He could probably win that quarterback battle. Can't put anything, it can't put all your eggs in one basket when it comes to Mitchell Trubisky. Again, he hasn't proved himself that much. So it's a genuine, QB battle. I don't think any one of them have any leverage right now. So it's kind of just like a blank slate for the both of them. And, whoever's the best man will win. And I feel like Kenny Pickett might be that guy. He might just be that guy.
Yeah, I feel like he has the best chance to start. Another guy who has the good chance to start, Desmond Ridder, for the Atlanta Falcons, because he's going against Marcus Mariota in training camp. So those are the QBs I think have the best chance to win. Obviously, like Malik Willis in Tennessee and Sam Howell for the Commanders, they could possibly play if injuries happen or stuff like that. But I think, like you said, like Kenny Pickett has the best chance to play, and like the second guy that might have a chance to play is Desmond Ridder. So yeah, this year is a different year in terms of QBs. There's usually a lot of buzz with QBs, and there's a lot of like, oh, this guy's gonna play well, how's he gonna play? But this year is kind of a quieter year. Everyone's expecting this coming year to be the better year for the QB. So we'll see if that's the case.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a better year next year. I mean, we got CJ Stroud coming out. We got my man from Alabama coming out. Who else we got?
We got the what's his name? The guy transferred to South Carolina.
Oh yeah.
Oklahoma. QB1 is a famous QB.
It's escaping me. But we were talking about him bear on this podcast too. Spencer Rattler.
Yeah. So we'll see how he plays this year at South Carolina. Does he struggle last? He was gonna be, if he came out this year, how he played 2 years ago, he would have been number one. But last year he really struggled. He got benched, and that
broke his confidence right there.
Sure. So we'll see what the QB is coming out next year, but it should be better.
Yes, sir. Let's talk a little bit about Green Bay's projections, man, because we even get to their whole situation. We are anticipating that Green Bay would be looking in the draft for receivers, especially since they let go of Davante Adams. Apparently, Aaron Rodgers was saying that before he made finalized the deal with his new guaranteed contract, he was doing it with the intention that Davante Adams would still be there. Now I feel like that's BS straight up, because I mean, you knew what you was doing. You knew that the man himself was about to be franchise tagged because they weren't going to give him the money that he wanted, and you knew he was going to be disgruntled. So were you really sure that were you really positive that he was going to be back while making that decision? I feel like Aaron Rodgers is a selfish youth, for real. The man just straight up wanted his money, didn't really care about nobody else. You may have said all that, for the media and whatnot, but you didn't really care. And Davante Adams, man, he high key, he wanted to I think maybe it's just due to the relationship. He had a better relationship with Derek Carr as well. I mean, again, they played together in college. They were actually real best friends. It finalized his decision. It substantiated his reasons as to why he wanted to leave. And maybe he saw something in Green Bay that we don't see. It seems like I don't know if a lot of people really want to be in Green Bay ultimately. Maybe Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, maybe Aaron Rodgers is. I've been saying he's been kind of selfish. I feel like that's what other people might be seeing too. But yeah, now he has Christian Watson to throw to, a guy from North Dakota State, in the same university that Trey Lance that Carson Wentz had went to. He's going to be a real project, and I don't think that's like Aaron Rodgers has a substantial, day one start or a number one on day one. Like I feel like Christian Watson's gonna have to grow into that, and he's not gonna be that immediately. So who does Green Bay really have for Aaron Rodgers to throw to? Like the man got all this money, but all this money to not win. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I don't know what Green Bay doing over there.
Yeah, they have to pick up a Jarvis Landry or, you know, one of the free agents that are still available. But like you said, like for him to sign that big deal, he kind of knew that they weren't gonna afford Davante Adams. Like Green Bay is a team that typically doesn't really pay a lot for their star players. They'll pay one guy like, you know, Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers, but they don't really pay a lot of their guys. You know what I mean? There's always to have like limits of how much they're gonna pay certain players for certain positions. So I kind of know like Davante Adams is not gonna get paid there. He's probably gonna get traded. But you know, Aaron Rodgers apparently, you know, I think he is that good where he can still make the playoffs without having some main guys.
You sure?
But at the same time though, I don't think they're gonna go far. So for me, like it diminishes their chances of winning the title. Like that's the ultimate goal, to win the Super Bowl, right? So I don't feel like they got better to try to win Super Bowl. But like
definitely not. But I don't even know if they're gonna make the playoffs, bro.
You don't think so? With Aaron?
Why I say this is because Aaron Rodgers always had top guys.
Look at the division. The division.
Huh?
The division.
Okay. Maybe. I mean, their division. Which division are they specifically in NFC?
NFC North. So Chicago.
Okay.
Who else?
They can beat out Chicago for sure. Who else is in there? Let me see in the NFC North.
He usually sweeps up the entire division. Like this guy, every year he sweeps up the division.
I remember, you know, that game that he had against Chicago. He said, "I've been owning you guys for years." So I mean, for sure, for sure, he's been owning Chicago. But who else is in that division? That's what I need to figure
out. It's kind of blanking me right now. Green Bay, Chicago. Is it Minnesota in that division? Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota and Detroit. Okay.
Damn, he's been sweeping all those teams every year he's played. So that's a guarantee. So they play the team division twice every year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for him, he knows he's gonna win at least 5 or sweep them and win all 6. Like obviously Detroit's better. Chicago.
Yeah, I feel like Detroit gonna make a little bit of noise. Yo, Jared Goff's competition. Yeah. I'm probably overhyping that. Like
yeah. And so yeah, he always has a one up on the division. So it's kind of like Tom Brady when he played in the Patriots for a long time. He would smack up the Jets, he would smack up the Bills, he would smack up a lot of those teams and sweep up the division. So it's kind of similar, like where Green Bay feels like, oh, we don't really have to add that much weapons because we feel like we're still better than the other team in our division. So that's a guaranteed 5 or 6 wins. Plus they can win another 5-6 wins outside of the division. So I mean, unfortunately, that's how a lot of teams look at it. Like they look at the division first and figure out, you know, if they really need to sign all these top players. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. Aaron Rodgers he's never really been without a top guy before. Remember, he's coming from days where he had Donald Driver, he had Greg Jennings, he had Jordy Nelson, he had Davante Adams, Randall Cobb was good in his prime too. He had guys. Now he has Lazard and Christian Watson.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
They need to add a Jarvis Landry and maybe make a trade.
Yeah, if they do that, maybe it might do something.
Make a trade against somebody else. Odell's still out there. I don't know if he wants to go to Green Bay because he didn't like Cleveland. I don't know if he wants to go out there, but
yeah.
I mean, get Odell, and you know, maybe Odell comes back later in the season, helps him out. I mean, hey.
I don't know, man. It's the market is kind of seeming pretty bleak for Odell himself too because of that ACL. I don't think anyone's really rushing to get him anytime soon, unfortunately. Jarvis, though, I mean, Green Bay definitely can go after him, but I saw on Twitter, and I don't know if this is cap, but I saw that Cleveland might be looking to get him back.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't know if that's cap. I don't know if it's a trusty source that I saw on Twitter. I mean, Twitter sometimes you just saying anything, but I mean that could be interesting. You know, Deshaun Watson,
Don't know who's gonna play.
Jarvis Landry, and Amari Cooper. More weapons for the man. Cleveland gonna be a powerhouse, if anything.
The only question mark is Deshaun Watson gonna play? That's so up.
Yeah, that's another question.
Nobody knows. I know they have a decent backup. You know what I mean? But you know, Deshaun Watson, he needs to play if they want to have a chance to, you know, to go far.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And speaking of Deshaun Watson, we can't talk about Deshaun Watson without talking about Baker Mayfield.
Let's see.
We cannot.
I was gonna say, when's the Baker segment coming?
A lie? We need to call like a special. We need to call our Baker segments like something special, like you know, just start naming it. Like, well, of course, we gotta get into our Baker talk. I mean, if you guys listen to this podcast, you already know it's coming, right? Man, so I mean, people were anticipating that he would at least find a home closer to the draft. Now the draft is come and gone, and there's still no home for Baker Mayfield.
Dog, I don't think he's gonna get traded, dog. I think he's gonna have to get cut and choose where he wants to go. Like nobody's gonna give up picks to get him, fam. Like,
yeah.
So I think he needs to get like cut, and then if he gets cut, he could choose a team where he can go to like New York Giants and try to beat out Daniel Jones, or go to a Carolina. I know Carolina picked up a QB, I believe, but try to beat out Sam Darnold. He needs to go somewhere where he can kind of compete for the spot. But I don't see him getting traded, fam. No one's gonna give up compensation for him. He's gonna have to get cut. So I don't know where he's gonna go. That's up in the air. But he definitely is not gonna report to training camp. He's not gonna report to no OTAs. I think he's still coming off a shoulder surgery or something. So I don't know, bro. That situation is up in the air, fam. I don't know where he's gonna end up and who's gonna want to take him on.
Yeah, man, his options are truly limited, and nobody wants him. But I feel like it's not that nobody wants him, but nobody is willing to trade for him, like you said. But Cleveland is not giving up without a fight, man. They're not just gonna release the guy. They want to get some compensation, yo. They're trying to make some real business moves. I mean, especially since they went they've done so much already around that team. You know, they're not just gonna. I don't think it would be a smart move to just let Baker go just because he's unhappy. They rather pay him the rest of his contract than just release him and lose all that money. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I don't even know. Like, I don't know I don't know how this is really going to commence, but I feel like the Seahawks got to make a move for him. They got to be the team that are willing to just, you know, suck it up and give Cleveland whatever they want for him, because they need the quarterback desperately.
They're tanking.
Not Carolina. I don't think so. I don't think Seahawks are fully sold on tanking. I don't think so.
Like, they didn't adjust the QB position at all. They expect Drew Lock is going to take them to the playoffs, man.
That's the thing. I'm thinking they're not expecting Drew Lock to take the helm. I don't think they're serious about going, you know, making Drew Lock their day one starter. I don't think that's a thing. I think they're going to give in. They're going to give in to Baker as long as Baker shows that, you know, he's willing to act right, maybe take some accountability for the things that have happened with the Cleveland situation, and I don't know, like maybe just display something that makes himself portrayed more in a positive light, because it's really just it's not his play that's in question, right? It's his image, right? So if he can try to make his image look a little bit better, I feel like the Seahawks are gonna bite the bullet. They're gonna make a move and they're gonna get him, and then they're gonna actually work to contend this year, because they got DK Metcalf, they got guys, they got Tyler Lockett, they still got key guys, right, that they can throw the ball to, that they still got guys that they can hand the ball off to. Rashard Penny and I don't know who, I forget their other running back. Do they still have Chris Carson? I am not sure, but they are a run first team, play action, throw it down the field type of team, just like the Cleveland Browns. You know, that's Pete Carroll's MO. So who did that? You know, ideally it was Baker Mayfield. That's the type of system that he wants to thrive in. That's the type of system that he's been coming from in Cleveland before. So it's a match really made in heaven for the both of them, if you think about it.
Now that's actually a good. That's actually
they
good.
Just gotta be willing to pay up, you know, give something for him.
Damn, I would keep that guy on a 1-year contract, guy, just to make sure, guy. But yeah, that's actually good like a good like observation. I feel like that's a good matchup for him. Like you said, they still have guys, like a lot of teams were trying to trade for DK, saying, "Hey, Russell's gone. Like, you know, like is DK available? You know what I mean? Does he want out?" So a lot of teams were inquiring about DK. Like you said, like Russell Wilson was hurt last year, but if he was healthy, bro,
they could have made another.
They could have made the playoffs, man.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like maybe just a QB away, just a QB playing at a decent level. So like he actually would be a good matchup in Seattle. Like you said, like Browns are stuck on what they want from him because it'd be unprecedented to cut a number 1 overall pick, I believe, in like his first 3 years, 3 or 4 years in the league. I don't think we've seen that in a long time. Literally, a team just saying, "We're giving up on the number 1 pick and just cutting, man."
Yeah.
So I mean, Seattle, they got to make a move and try to get him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro.
That's a good thing. I didn't really think about Seattle for Baker in a while because I was thinking that they might tank. But you made a good point that maybe they don't want to tank, but they want to still contend. If that's the case, then they need a QB that's going to help them contend. And Drew Lock, we saw him in Denver. Maybe he might play better in Seattle, but like I said, easily the guy to get them over the top. You know, I don't think so. So maybe Baker is the right fit for Seattle.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Still, you know, Baker can actually help them to contend. Still, they still have key pieces. So, I mean, Seattle, do what it do. Either that or get my man Kaepernick, bro.
They're still Cam. They're still RG3.
Nah, but the thing is though, because Cam put out that poor tape in Carolina.
Oh yeah, man.
I don't know, man. Cam's gonna be a backup for years to come now. Yeah. Unfortunately.
But he's not a backup type player. That's the problem with a Cam or a Cap to me, is that they say they're willing to come in as a backup to compete with number 1. But let's say they lose out on the number 1 position. Are they comfortable with being like that? A coach says, "You are the backup for the rest of the season. We're going with so and so as QB1." I think, will those guys take that role?
Nah, like Cam wouldn't be quiet about that. Cap definitely wouldn't be quiet about that because you already know his MO. He want to start. He want to be on the field.
Yeah,
so nah, you right.
RG3, we've seen him. He took that role. He was a backup for Lamar for a long time. But yeah, I don't know. Like it depends. Like if those guys want to take that role, I'm the backup. I'll be the backup. Yeah, but I feel like those guys are gonna be like, I'm not gonna back up Baker. I'm not gonna back up Drew Lock. I'm not gonna back up Marcus Mariota. Like they're gonna be like, I'm better than that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I feel you, fam. I feel you.
Yeah, so that was a lot. We capped around the NFL news for you guys that happened this past weekend. So all the trades, all the free agents are still available, and kind of deep dive into some of the players that were drafted well and how they fit. Deebo Samuel is still a free agent. I mean, he's still a member of San Francisco, so I believe they won't trade him. I don't know. That's still up in the air. But I believe they'll probably keep him and try to pay him close to what he wants. Well, that's still up in the air as well. And so, yeah, man, a lot of NFL stuff happened the last 2 weeks, man.
Yeah, definitely a lot of things happening, but still some things to come that we're anticipating to happen. So we'll keep our ears out, bro. We're just gonna keep our ears out, and you already know where to get your news here first, man. It's the Josh and Dever podcast. You already know.
And so I appreciate y'all listening. I know we're real sad from last week when the Raptors losing, so we don't gotta get into too much of that. But we try to do the impossible, come back down from 3-0. Never been done in the history of the NBA.
Mhm.
Couldn't do it. We played great in the first half in Game 6, but that second half we just gassed out. We didn't have the legs, we didn't have the energy. Probably missing some key energy from Van Fleet, who was out for that game. But we tried. We weren't 100% healthy, but great season. Love watching every second of it, and hopefully next year we can get better and have a better season.
Yeah, there's definitely big things to come for the Raptors. I mean, just showing us what they did this year. There's only an upside, right? There's only just high expectations moving forward. I mean, just the way that we fell to down early in this series, 3-0. We really did our best in fighting back, and we showed some tenacity. We showed some real heart in general. Winning 2 games to make the series respectable at the end of the day. Unfortunately we couldn't pull it out, but injuries definitely played a part in it. Youth played a part in it a little bit. When we get a second-year Scotty Barnes coming in, we get Fred established what he's doing, Siakam building upon his year as well. Precious, there's a lot of cats that we really just relied on that came through for us. Gary Trent Jr., a lot of guys that really just came through for us that if they remain, we can maybe make some noise and maybe add a little bit too. If we add a little bit, maybe we can do something. So definitely high expectations moving forward. And we fought, man. That's all we can ask for still.
Yeah, just to go out on our shield. Like I said, we were one really good big man away, add another big guy to pair with the guys we already have, like a Precious, and give us a little bit more size and skill in the post. But yeah, I feel like we're close. That series, MB misses that game when he shot in Game 3. We could have been this team up 3-2. So, I mean, hey, we just hope for the best next year, get better, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, you already know.
All right, gave y'all a lot. NFL sprinkled in a little bit of NBA, giving y'all the best news every week in and out. Like, subscribe, hit that button. The Josh and Denver podcast, Denver Josh podcast. Your boy Denver.
Yes, your boy Josh. Yo, thank y'all. We appreciate the support. Keep listening, man. More news to come. You already know.
All right.
Peace. Yeah. Blessings.
I ain't making no commitments unless I'm seeing it through. And that shit ain't always easy to do. Nah, it ain't easy to. Another year alive, pushing my dreams, finding balance while I'm looking at screens.